Hey guys, Reef here. Today I was going to give a quick walkthrough of all of the corals in my 180-gallon reef. So why don't we start over here at the left-hand side, and I'll just work my way across and just tell you what I have in here. So I guess first off we can start here in the corner. I've got three in this little bunch here, and there's one right there. Rock flower anemones, and it's a little difficult to get a good picture of them because they were kind of out here in the middle and they've decided to all bunch up in this corner here, but these are cool little anemones. They don't really move around too much. I mean, they've worked their way over a few inches and they've just sat there ever since. This is the newest one that I have. He's a bit closed up now. I think somebody got sand on him, but he's got an orange center with green outer tentacles, and unfortunately it's always difficult to really get a good representation of the colors on these corals when you're using these cameras, but I'll do the best that I can. So I got the rock anemones, and then down here I've got several little islands of green star polyps. So you'll notice these are two different types. This one up here in the front is more of like a metallic green, and these other three are the same. They're like a lighter green, and they've got like a white center in each polyp. Pretty cool. Those green star polyps, I believe, were my first coral ever. Not these particular pieces of it. I've got another big colony down the other end, and it just grows and grows and grows. So I've constantly taken little pieces, put them on other rocks, and just let them take off. Here in the middle you'll see this little stick that's sort of out of place. That is, I believe it's a blue digi. I've got more of this down there. This is probably the most fragile coral that I own. Anything touches this, I've got bits of it all over the tank. It just breaks off, so I keep mounting them to different pieces of rubble and stuff, and running out of places to put them. So it's just kind of stuck here until I figure out what to do with it. I've got a toadstool mushroom. This thing has gotten huge. This was just a tiny little piece when I got it, and it's just gotten enormous. Now the reason that's all the way over here on the left, it's also quite toxic apparently to some of the other corals. So I've had it, rub up against other corals, and it just, kills it dead. So I keep that over here pretty much by itself. Although these things right next to it, I believe these are called jasmine polyps. And these are really cool. They just keep growing, and I love how they just wave and in the flow. So pretty cool. It doesn't really seem to bother them so much, so they could sit next to it. Down here I've got a green bubble tip anemone, although he's never really bubbled up, and he's a little bit closed up right now, but he opens up pretty big when he wants to. And behind him is a little tiny frag of a Kenya tree. I did add a few of them in here at one point, and if you ever had those, they kind of break pieces off and they float around the tank and attach to somewhere else. So that's why that's growing there. That's another one of them there. And there's some daisy polyps growing there. So something else that I had, it was from somewhere else, and broke some off of a rock that it was on, and stuck it there. It's growing. Over here, if you could see in there, I've got a little colony of zoanthids, the green. I don't know what they are. They're like radioactive green or something like that. I'm going to have to move them. They were fine there and doing great, but everything around it's like really starting to grow, and it's in the shade, and it doesn't like when these jasmine polyps rub up against them, so I'm going to have to move them someplace else. But right on top of it is this huge, well, it's getting huge now. I really like this. This is another leather coral. This is another toadstool leather. I got one here, I got another one here. And I love the polyp extension on this. I mean, it's just like really, really cool. But it's starting to shade some of the things around it, so I'm going to have to make some adjustments. There's some clove polyps back there. can get it to focus. They're pretty neat. They have like a nice bright green center, really glows with some like orange parts of it when you have the blue lights on. And also back there, there's another green leather. I think it's a Sinularia. I'm not quite sure. But I tried to move that. That's really attached to the rock. And, this toadstool leather is just, getting huge and shading everything else around it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Down underneath, if you can make that out, he's in the shade as well. That's this Acan Echinata. I'll probably have to move that somewhere else, but he actually seems to be doing okay down there. It's really tough to make out, but he's kind of like purple colored with light blue spots on him. And then if the blue lights get on the center, it kind of fluoresces almost like a yellow color. So it's pretty cool. I like them. Alright, moving over to here, I kind of have my little Euphyllia garden. So down here is a purple hammer, and right next to it is a green hammer. And both of these started off as little tiny frags that I've had for a couple years now, and they've just been growing and growing. And I think they started with like 2 heads each, and if those close up, you can probably count 20 heads on each one of those. So that's pretty cool. This torch is awesome. That's another one that I've had for a really long time. Started off as a tiny little frag. I think it had 2 heads on it, and now I think there's probably about 12 or 15 on here altogether. So that's good. This is a newer one that I have. Purple torch, although I think it was called a gold torch when I got it. I don't know why it looks purple to me. That had 3 heads on it, and I don't know why the 2 on the bottom are a little bit closed up. I think there was a crab crawling around in there earlier. I'm not quite sure, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. But another nice piece. Tucked down in between, there's a little Montipore. There was a little tiny piece of it that was on there. I was moving it to somewhere else, and a little piece stayed behind, and it just grew. So it seems to be doing okay down there. I was afraid that it was kind of in the shade. I may have to move it at some point, but it keeps growing, so I'll just leave it alone. So you can come back up to the front. It's a nice piece here. If we can get that to focus. It's like this, I think it's a scroll coral, it's called. It almost looks like a chalice type coral. It's nice and like a flat, plating type. It's purple with these yellow polyps and yellow growth ring on it. And then under the blue lights, it looks almost completely different. The yellow turns to green, and the purple turns to blue. There's a couple little frags on here. So this is a Hollywood Stunner chalice. This actually used to be a really big colony when I was in my old tank, and something happened and it just started to die off in the middle. So I cut a little, some little tiny frags off of it to try and save it. Similar in size to these guys here. There are other pieces of it, and just put it on a rock, and it's made a full recovery, and it's on its way back. So I was happy about that. I almost forgot this guy. It's a yellow hammer that I have down there. Got that at a frag swap. So he's pretty cool. He's gonna take a little while before he catches up to his bigger brothers up there, but it'll happen. There's another Monty cap down here. Again, he's kind of in the shade, and these things should really be in the light, but it was well lit there when I put them there, and these other things are really growing, so I may have to move that. Down here is that red Cyphastria that I got recently. I wasn't quite sure where to put it, so he's just kind of sitting down there for now. I like this one. Is a watermelon chalice. Really cool. It's like pink with green rim and like green dots on it. It's really nice. These are, I think they were called Red Magician Pallies. These started off as just a small frag as well. I think there was maybe 4 of them, and they've just been really growing, so I was happy about that. Got some yellow zoanthids back there. So, not too much to say about them. Yeah, they used to be a lot fuller, and I don't know why. Zoanthids Most zoanthids don't really do well in here. I'm not quite sure why, so they kind of died back, but I've had them for, you know, a couple of years. They've done it before. They've died back and then they've come right back again, so just give it time. So Duncan coral. This one, I got, believe it or not, at Petco. Every once in a while I go in there and, you know, they got a tank there with a couple of frags, you know, for like $10. So I bought that, and it was only 2 heads and really tiny at the time. So I took a chance and I took it home and just started feeding it, and the thing just grew. It's pretty big now. I like that. This is a candy cane or trumpet coral. This is another one that I've had for a really long time. Started off just a couple of those little things, and they've been, you know, growing steadily. Keep splitting, getting bigger. This is another piece of that digi I was talking about earlier. It's a weird piece. I mean, it doesn't look blue at all here, but the polyps do have a sort of blue appearance, and the skeleton portion of it can really change color depending on how much light it's in. So I've seen it go from like almost a white to this brown color, and you know, even sometimes it looks a bit yellowish. So kind of an interesting one. It is very fragile. Pieces keep getting broken all the time as these fish swim past it. I have some mushrooms back there, some Recordias. I like them. Pretty cool. This is a Passalapora. Another one that's been growing really well for me. Started off just as a few of those little heads and constantly getting bigger. Back here, got like a field of daisy polyps and some clove polyps, I think, and some green star polyps are there. Some mushroom down there. Pretty cool. It's doing well. Is my purple Stylophora. I think it was called a Milka Stylo. So that's another one that's been growing pretty good. These orange zoanthids, actually these ones are doing pretty good. They started growing. Maybe I just need to put them all in brighter light. I don't know. I moved this one up to here and it's doing pretty good. I think they were called Bam Bams. No, they weren't. I forget what they were, just orange. There's a little acro I've got there. Not much to say about that one yet. Some other zoanthids. Just kind of have them all in this rock there. So I hope one day they just take off. Oh, here's the original green star polyp rock that I had, and it's just spread all the way out. Here's a little... Oops. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. Don't know if you heard that, but the phone was ringing. The original star polyps, and then over here is a very sad-looking acan. Don't know what happened to all my acans, but at one point they all just sort of dying back. So I may give them another chance. I think it was they didn't like it when I moved to the new tank. It's a blue matrix acro. Really cool piece. It's been growing really good for me. Started off as just a little tiny piece. Here's a pink bird's nest. That I got from like a local reefer in my neighborhood. He was selling some frags, and I bought just like one little piece of just like a little pitchfork, and you know, put that in there, and you know, within like a year that's what it turned into. So I'm really happy with that one. That thing just took off. Got some more candy canes here, different color ones. And got my nice Monteporas. There's a purple one, orange one. I got some green star polyps in there. I need to get those things out of there. You can see they're just kind of attacking the Monty. So I keep trying to scrape them back, and I need to just really get in there and yank them out so it doesn't kill my Monty. Same thing with these ones up here. I'm going to take them out and put some macros up there. But, you know, I've got a green Monty in the back. There's a acro on the left. I think that's Acropora austera, I think it was. The one in the middle is that limeade that I bought a few weeks ago. It's really hard to tell the colors here, lighting. And this is just some generic purple and green acro. So coming down over here, some more, some sort of a Montepora. I got it at a frag swap. I think it's like a digi, I don't know. But on the rock to the left there, that orange is Superman Monty. That's was a little piece left over from a different frag that I had there, and it just took off, started growing. Jedi Mind Trick. Some more zoanthids. Purple Montipora, kind of grown into this, a green one grown into this purple one, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. This is my Miami Hurricane Chalice. This one's growing pretty good. I really like that one. And this is the other part of that Superman Monty. There's a purple Digi, although it doesn't really look very purple. It's more brown. And purple Bonsai. This was that one that I got at that frag pack not too long ago, and I didn't know what it was. It's a Samacora I think it was called. So now I know what that is. This is a Green Planet Acro. I had that back here somewhere, and I don't know if it wasn't getting enough light or what. I noticed where'd it go? The tissue started dying back on it, so I brought it out up there and I got it up front, so hopefully that's nothing too serious and it'll recover. Coming back here, we've got Christmas Favia, really slow grower. That thing's had that forever. It's sort of like, I think, 3 heads, and in 2 years I think that's as much as I've gotten out of it. So there's a red Digi, and there's another piece of that purple Digitata, another piece of that red Digitata, and then this one is a Spongeodes, something like that. It's really cool, bright green with these brown polyps. Back there's another sort of bird's nest. Got that at a frag swap. It was really small, and that thing just took off. Underneath there's this Rose Millie, which is hard to see. It's kind of getting overtaken by that green bird's nest type coral. Up front here is my Red Planet, and these ones are going to be kind of hard to shoot because I got the lights really turned up to take the video and kind of washed out. And there's this green acro. This other one, this tall one with all the branches at the top, is a Scripps Acropora. Back here, this is another piece of that Digitata, and as you can see, it's almost looks completely different than the other one over there. So depending on the lighting, it really changes what it appears to be. Another piece of the red Digi, and this one I don't know what it's called. It's just a kind of Acropora. It's like a really light green color. It's kind of not coming up on the camera here. And then this one is that what the heck was that? It was that red one I just got at the during that frag pack a couple of weeks ago. Oh, it'll come to me. I forget what it was called. Well, anyway. Then this one over here, there's an acro here, but I think detritus and stuff started falling into there, and it kind of started killing it. So I cut off the good piece, and I mounted it up there, and that piece seems to be doing fine. And I need to get this out of there and clean that algae off of it and get that healthy again. There's a purple acro I've had for a while. It just keeps growing. Some more zoanthids. This is that Mystic Sunset Monty. Oh, Setosa, that's what that was called. Okay. And then down here, some Palithoa Grandes, I think they were called. This is another chalice. This thing used to have some really nice purple and green coloration, and I don't know what happened. It lost everything, and I've just put it over here in the corner, and it's been slowly recovering. So I hope one day it gets all of its full color back. So another pecan, just kind of sitting there. A couple of gorgonians, and some Kenya trees, some mushrooms, and I think that's about it for the corals. So hope you enjoyed that walkthrough. Just leave you with a couple seconds to see the full tank here. And thanks for watching, and I'll have more videos coming I'll have more videos coming in the near future. Thanks for watching.